Welcome, everyone, to V2 Institute for the Unstable Media and Interaxis. Hello, Interaxis.
Hey!
Hey!
Hello, Rotterdam. Good evening.
Woo! I'm standing here at the spaceport, which is an integral part of this exhibition, connecting us to Toronto tonight, live and in person and life-size-ish. Graham, you look pretty life-size. I don't know. Hello.
We're sometimes larger than life.
We're sometimes larger than life. That's true. Everybody looks bigger on TV. It's true. So we're here tonight as part of the Blow Up series of events here at V2. We Are All Crew, a 3-day celebration of Marshall McLuhan's intellectual legacy in the centenary of his birth. And as part of it tonight, this afternoon in Toronto, we're delighted to open the Strategic Arts Initiative 2.0 exhibition, which is a revisioning and revisiting of a key art exhibition that took place 25 years ago, connecting Toronto at that time to Italy and France. This time, for the revisioning, we're connecting Toronto to Rotterdam, which is wonderful. And we have 5 artworks that you can interact with and play with tonight, this afternoon. I don't know if I'm going to have to keep doing that. You guys just know that when I say tonight, I mean this afternoon. So I'm not going to say too much about it, because actually I'm going to introduce you to the artists, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their works. And then you really get to know the work best, of course, by experiencing it. So I'd like to invite Norman White to come up and discuss his work. We're going to go through each of the artists one by one and allow them to describe their work briefly and demo it briefly, and then the party begins. Welcome, Norman.
Well, there won't be a demo tonight, unfortunately. The arm is still not working. We spent the last 2 days trying to get the Ethernet communication working, and succeeded only about half an hour ago in getting reliable data exchanging. And then we found out one of our 12-volt batteries is dead. So we need 24 volts. So we'll come back tomorrow to see that. Hopefully we'll have everything working. I just want to say the rationale behind the arm is that it's always been important to me to take the idea of computer art away from the screen. That is to say, away from the desktop screen or the projected screen, and take it out of the realm of vision and sound. So touch becomes a critical issue. How do you transmit touch over the internet? And I would like ultimately to take it even further into smell and taste. But for the time being, the celebration here is touch. And as Michel said, we first did this in 1986 with mixed success. And I'm trying to do it this time around with greater power of the internet. But as you can see, it's not working yet. So anyway, thank you for coming, and hope to see you in the next few days where I can actually show this thing in operation. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Norm. I'm going to have to adjust this down to my height again. Could I invite Laura to come up and talk about the piece that you and Carl Hamfeld. Carl, do you want to come up to the spaceport? Carl, come to the podium, please. And you guys can...
Hello, Rotterdam.
Hello. And you guys can discuss your knock-knock piece. And tell a few knock-knock jokes, please, as well. That would be fun.
Carl,
take it away.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, this is a collaboration I did with Carl Hamfeld, and he's basically in charge of most of the software for the piece, and I did all the hardware for it. And it involves a pipe and a club. You bang the pipe.
Woo!
It does work.
It does work. Yay!
And it's
Wonderful.
also very
Okay.
economical. You know, bandwidth is always a premium, and each knock is a total of 2.5 bytes. How about that?
2.5 bytes.
It's very,
That's
doesn't come
nothing.
much cheaper than that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yay. All right, and now I'm going to invite David Rokeby to come and talk about his piece, International Feel.
First, I draw your attention to this vintage 1986 Strategic Arts Initiative t-shirt. Still wearable, still not too smelly. It's really exciting to be here, going back to that very crazy time in 1986 when a bunch of us came over against all odds and tried desperately to communicate between Italy and Toronto with no success, and finally had some success between France and Toronto. As usual, even though 25 years have passed, we still have had connectivity issues and all sorts of stuff. Just goes to show that's the nature of the beast. Anyway, the piece that I'm showing is a revisiting of the piece I showed then, which used a very early version of my piece, Very Nervous System, one in Paris and one in New York, sharing one piece of information about what was going on in the space with the other one. And each space would make sound relating to how closely synchronized the movements in the two places were. If there was synchronization between movements in both places, the sound would expand and get larger, and if things were out of sync, then you'd get noise or nothing. So in this case, I've used a Kinect depth sensor instead of a camera, and I'm capturing the body as sort of a bubble, three-dimensional bubble body, which you'll be able to see on the screen that I can see there, and which is over in the back here. And so if someone is in the space in Toronto and someone's in the space in Rotterdam, those bodies move through the same space and can find each other, and when they touch, they make sound. The most important thing to do is pay attention to the direction of sound. If you're in there and someone's in here, you'll hear breathing. If you know which direction the breathing's coming from and head towards the breathing, you will find the person. As you get close to the person, though, the sound moves quickly around you, so you have to kind of dodge and weave to find your way to the person. Now, lots of people want to see the screen, which shows this happening, but in fact, I prefer to have the screen not visible because if you close your eyes and really feel the sound instead of looking at the image, you really feel more like that person is moving through you rather than projecting yourself onto the screen. Again, to get away, as Norman said, to get away from the screen, to be in the body in virtual space rather than being in a screen in virtual space. And now that was sort of a demo, but if someone wants to go into the space in Toronto, Laura wants to do it? Okay. Okay, listen to the breathing, find it, move towards it. Up, down. You found it? Okay, now. Yep, there, yep.
Get back in there, Toronto. Oh. So Laura's all alone. Laura's all alone, Toronto. Oh. If you listen, you can find them. So it only works with one person at a time in each space. Best. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks. Yep.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, whoever was on the other end.
Awesome. Great. So, hey, Toronto, can you send Doug to the spaceport, please? Doug back. Can you tell us about decoupled?
Yeah, I guess I only finished it like 3 weeks ago because the original piece I was going to put in, when I got it done, it basically just sucked. Didn't do anything for me. Yeah. So when I built this piece, it's still milling around in my mind what it means, but it's about sacrifice, Aztec style, I think.
Aztec style.
I think so, yeah. We debated whether to put blood in the jars or leave it water, but we decided to leave it water for this piece.
Okay.
It's about
biohazard with blood.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be fake blood.
Yeah.
It's about sacrifice. A lot of people sit there and move their little finger a little tiny bit and spend hours and hours on the screen. So this is supposed to make you maybe contemplate what you're doing on the computer, those heartbeats that you're not wasting, but you're sacrificing.
Okay. Well, if we can have someone maybe come over. Norm, do you want to demo Doug's piece? Doug's piece is in the far corner here. And when you put the clip on your finger, it senses your heartbeat. And then your heartbeat is sent to the water pump in Toronto. And people will see in the form of these water waves your heartbeat. And the person in Toronto is sending theirs to the water pump here. Who's at the pump in Toronto?
Mike Juneau.
Okay. And we've got Norm White over here.
Go, Mike. You can beat him. He's old.
And presumably, if two people are connected there that know each other, they might be excited to see each other, and their heartbeat would change. And then you would know as well if the other person was in distress, if all of a sudden their heart was to stop.
Right.
Right. Well, thanks a lot, Doug.
My pleasure.
Yay! So last but definitely not least, can we have Graham Smith come up to the spaceport, please? Tell us about Displaced Perspectives 2.0.
Hey, thanks, Michelle. And thanks to Rotterdam and everyone over there for helping set this up, and Interaccess for making this happen. Yeah, I mean, I started building telepresence robots through this show 25 years ago in '86, and have been continuing to do this kind of work of this kind of idea of a displaced presence, of an idea of not only video conferencing like this, but actually being able to control and move your presence through space, which is a whole other kind of three-dimensional realm to the kind of idea of projecting presence. And, you know, over the years, I've done many projects. We almost got arrested when we did this in front of the White House in '94. Secret Service didn't seem to like this too much for some reason. I think you'd probably be shot at this point in time. But, you know, in 25 years ago, this idea of video conferencing over the internet like this was just in its very, very early stages. I mean, I think we were able, when we were testing it in Toronto, to get maybe one frame every 20 minutes. And now with things like Skype, I mean, it's a free piece of software that works beautifully like this. And the idea of the piece, Displaced Perspectives, is the idea of being able to control something in a remote location and yet having a machine in your location that you can't control. So if I can call on Jeff Mann, is Jeff still around? If he can control the robot here at Interaccess, and I'm going to control the robot from...
All right, Jeff is getting on the step pad. Yeah. All right, so we've got the robot right here, and Jeff is in the corner controlling the other robot that's in the other space. And here we have... Yeah, we can hear you. So the idea is drive around. Yep. Go have a beer.
Where's the bar?
You're never going to make it to the bar because there's a tripwire in the way. You have to go around the pillar. It's going to be really tricky. You have to show your ID.
Well, you'll have to be 16 at home, so that's not weird. So this is the idea, and you can actually control this, drive the robot around, come up and talk to people, say hello, hi there. And then this idea of you're exploring this space in a way that's very familiar to people. You're scanning the room, you're looking around, you're moving forward, you're moving back. And that's what the piece is all about, this idea of presence being mobile, not just a stationary presence. And now you go back to the other.
Yeah, come back to the spaceport. There's Jeff. Jeff is coming in with you to the spaceport.
I think Jeff wants to say something. Jeff, want to say something?
Jeff, do you want to add something? No. Hello, Rotterdam.
I've got him muted right now. That's good. Sorry, Jeff. Not that I meant to mute you, but no, I really want to thank Jeff Mann, actually, who without
Jeff,
his
you
help,
look terrible.
And then we created this hole in space, this idea which comes from, we call it the spaceport, but really it comes from Kit Galloway and Sherry Rabinowitz, who did the world's first piece like this back in 1976 with satellites between Los Angeles and New York City. And they just got, there's a huge art exhibit in Los Angeles recently with the Getty Museum, all over Los Angeles, over 3,000 works. And their piece, This Hole in Space, was voted the third most successful art piece of all time. So I think I really owe a lot to their kind of insights over the years. I really wanted to add them as a reference. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thanks, Graham. Yay.